With spring just around the corner, it's almost maple syrup season. But what would happen if it disappeared or became unaffordable? Climate change is causing different changes in this vital industry. We invite you to explore these changes with your students with Green Learning's Maple Syrup Inquiry. Begin by launching the program. When you scroll down, you will find valuable resources that help guide and assist you and your students. This link offers you an in-depth look into the Spiral Inquiry model. We also included a list of resources to help facilitate discussions and research, a curriculum reference link, and an achievement chart for your use. Now, let's get started. Introduce your students to the Maple Syrup Inquiry by watching this 1-minute video. Then, start with step 1, the spark. As a class or virtually, serve a pancake breakfast using maple syrup and corn syrup as toppings for comparison. Start an open discussion and begin generating ideas with your students to the question, will maple syrup still be available and affordable by 2050? Other questions to spark the inquiry and for general discussion can be shared below. Remember to share an image of your pancake breakfast on social media, with parental permission of course, using hashtag MapleSyrupGL or email programs@greenlearning.ca. Now, let's move on to the next step. Hypothesize and plan. Working as a class, in small groups or virtually, decide on the focus of your inquiry. Students will use the spark discussion and activities to help them decide. They can revisit the pancake breakfast and think of the issues, topics, and climate change concerns that were shared. If you have specific issues or topics that connect climate change with maple syrup, share them with others and get them thinking. Students are now ready to move on to create their inquiry question or questions. Discuss what your students have taken away from the class brainstorming and discussions. We have offered some examples here. Once you have your inquiry question and/or hypothesis, post this for students across Canada to see. Next, in groups or individually, students can plan each step of their inquiry. Students can download and fill out the check-in number 1 worksheet. We have created this Word document for students to directly fill it out on their computer or print it out to use. Next up, we have step 3, explore and research. Pick your topic, research, record, and reflect. Your topic. In this stage, your students will research the information needed for their topic. We have listed numerous investigative suggestions, but please feel free to use your own. Research. Students will then gather and view information needed to answer their question or test their hypothesis. Here are some questions that teachers in the past have given their students to get them started on their research. With parental permission, students will then share an interesting fact found on their topic and share on social media. Students will then record, reflect, and discuss their preliminary findings and observations in comparison to their previous knowledge. Students can also download and fill out the attached check-in number 2 worksheet. Next up, we have step 4, analyze and check. Students will compare, sort, classify their information, describe characteristics, and note patterns. They will then share a solution idea that their group has discovered and draw conclusions about their questions and hypothesis. Please ensure that they download and fill out check-in worksheet number 3 found here. Lastly, we have step 5, communicate and act. Students will communicate their inquiry findings to the class and others. This is a chance for them to really get creative. With parental permission, students might produce a YouTube video, a PowerPoint presentation, a blog, you name it. Other people can also benefit from what your students have discovered. We have shared some examples here. As students have been researching the inquiries, they have probably come across many calls to action. There are many suggestions classes have for helping with maple syrup. Some examples can be found here. Developing a plan is a great way to start. Students can share their plan with the staff at Green Learning, emailing us at programs@greenlearning.ca. They can also share on social media with parental consent using hashtag MapleSyrupGL.